President Bill Clinton paid a visit to Still River. He did a fundraiser just outside the center of town in a banquet hall for the state senator. And the news got out somehow that he was coming through Still River. And they had it timed. They thought they had it right. They figured he was going to come off the exit of the interstate, off of exit 5, come down the hill, stop the light, and go straight down North Street and up the road about 2 miles. The banquet hall's on the right. And so there was a number of people lined up along the way with flags, some women with kids, and other people with signs of various causes and interests. And one sign says, "Bill, don't forget Mickey D's." So about 12:30, these two black limos pull up to the exit of the interstate on exit 5. And you saw one or two helicopters kind of flying low in the air, black helicopters. And the limos went down as expected to the light, but the windows weren't open. And people are waving and showing signs and waving American flags, hoping to get a glimpse of President Willie. And what happened was about 10 minutes after that, everybody left. Two black SUVs unmarked came up to the exit, came down, made a slight jog on a small street to the left, which curved around, and it came down on the other end of Main Street of Still River and up over the hill and came out down on the road. And instead of making a left at the light on the road to the banquet hall, they made a quick jog to the right. One SUV made a quick jog to the right and went down the road about a little over a quarter of a mile, and there was a McDonald's on the left. And it pulled up into the parking lot, and two men in black came out very quickly with sunglasses on, ran into McDonald's, and in less than a minute ran back out with two large bags. And they got in, and the window was rolled down so they could hand the bags to the person in the back of the SUV. And a couple of people at McDonald's saw the gray light hair and the smile, big smile, and they swore it was Willie. And they took off right away up to the banquet hall, which was only less than a mile away. So that was, the last president's visit to Still River. I don't think another president came through Still River or came even near it. I think maybe Teddy Roosevelt came by once. And the other incident happened about 5 or 6 years later. George W. was reported to come to a little podunk country town about 10 miles north of Still River. And the reason being that he was visiting Henry K., the illustrious statesman, the Secretary of State, and who lived up off of the road up the hill on the route cutting across from that little podunk over to another small podunk town. And I drove up there to see the festivities. And again, people were standing out in the streets. There was a small parade with a float which had a big, giant red and white paper mache missile on it. And I think it said Iraq or Iran on the side. And it had like a figure of George G.W. sitting on the missile, riding it like a bucking bronco, waving a cowboy hat, just like Slim Pickens riding the A-bomb down from the bomber in the movie Dr. Strangelove. And he never showed up through the town. They missed him again because they came in from the northeast. They did not come in from the east. They thought he was going to land in JFK or New York Airport and, have a limo entourage up from the southeast. But really, they landed in an Air Force base north of Hartford and drove down from the north. So he avoided all of that. And one day, not too much after that, I was in the little podunk where kind of a lot of people go to hang out on weekends. Usually the weekend IT crowd and the, credit default swap brokers and, investment bankers. You could see them walking around because they would wear like the really weird color pink and orange Bermuda shorts and have a little entourage with them and a few kids. And there's gift shops there were very overpriced items and, little ice cream stores and yogurt shops and specialty food item stores and specialty clothing stores and rare book stores. It's a town where people go on weekends to peruse. And so I stopped to get a coffee, and I went into the gift shop on the corner. And I was standing there looking at the tchotchkes there they had in the gift store, all kinds of tchotchkes. And there was a woman in there in a very spangled black sequin dress with very big hair. Oh, she looked in, her late 50s, maybe she was in her 60s, heavily made up. And, the diamond-studded glasses with the, gold chain and everything. And what looked like a fellow standing in the back corner, kind of shabby looking with a floppy hat. And I was looking and I said, that looks like Henry Kay. And I assume it was his wife because she was talking to him, pointing to this. There's these book stands they make out of wood, very ornate. They're like an X. And it's the thing you put your big family Bible on, or Talmud, or whatever dictionary, any large book or photo album. And there was a large one there with very ornately carved with, studded bangles in it and make it look like jewels and stuff. And she was interested in getting it, and she was talking to the saleswoman. And she's going on and on. And she goes over to Henry, and I think she talks to him, and she asks him what's he think of it, and he just stands there and kind of just nods his head, unconcerned. And she said, I know we have to get back shortly, so let me get this now and have it wrapped up, and I can't wait for it. We have to get back to the house. And what is George and Bill doing? And Henry says, well, George is out back cleaning brush. Last I saw Bill, he was sitting out back in a chair by the picnic table with a cigar and a beer. And he says, well, you know, darling, he has that accent. You know, darling, I like to get back for lunch. You know how I like my baked potato. And I said to myself, it is Henry. And that's what put Still River on the map ever so briefly this summer.